Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gears Esports Pro League Season 2 inaugural day. I am Colin the Crow Clark, being joined by Jacob MVPR as always, and we've had some fantastic matchups already on broadcast for everybody at home.
Definitely had a pleasure. We even got a sneak peek at some of the side station matchups that happened. And one of those side station matchups we got to watch was Elevate versus Hive. So a little bit of a sneak peek of the match we're about to see ahead of us. And Colin, I know you're usually doing the one picking my brain, asking the questions, but what have we seen so far in Hive in that sneak peek that you think they're going to use in this next matchup?
Hey, look, I'm actually really looking forward to this next matchup for everybody at home because Carnage Gaming, they turn things up to about a 12, and they travel at about 195 miles an hour around the map. And if there's any team that's willing to take the kid gloves off, travel at 195 miles an hour around the map, flash and dash, and take out any fight you want to take, it's Hive. I guarantee you that. Hive is going to come out here, and they're not going to show any fear to Carnage Gaming. They're going to make Carnage either play to their level, fight those fights, or they're going to make them transition into almost a setup and Lancer team because Hive doesn't back down from nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your name is. I don't even care that Shock's on the team now. You've got guys like Demise and Xovios. There's no sane human on the planet that's going to look at those two guys and say, you know what, man, you should not use your shotgun. You should slow down because that's dumb. That's the worst decision you can. It would literally be like getting an Italian hoagie at a place that only serves hamburgers. It's dumb. It's not the right call. It's not the right move.
So you're saying when I get my chicken sandwich at a burger restaurant, it's not the right move? Is that what you're telling me right now?
I didn't say that. I said Italian hoagie. Get it straight for the record.
That is true. That is true. But I had to ask you because I get that a lot, so I wanted to throw it in there. But this is going to be a big matchup between what could be later on in the season two juggernauts. I want to introduce them first, Carnage Gaming. And I think they're led by that young gun. You see his name first on the roster, Dyslexic, Fate, Absenz, BGod, and Shockwqve. And of their own right mind, Dyslexic, in my head, he's a young prodigy. He reminds me of an explosive back in the day in Gears of War 3. He reminds me of that young Powers before he joined those elite teams. This man has the making to go down in history of one of our best Gears of War players, and he's just getting started.
They've also got Mr. Consistency on that team. Somebody for that team that I have loved watching come through the qualifiers week in and week out is Shockwqve. Every time a big play is needed to be made or they need somebody that's able to just lance a route, get damage on somebody else, and be a teammate, it's been Shockwqve. He has done a fantastic job up to this point being Mr. Consistent, almost an MVP-type caliber player. He doesn't get all the kills in the world. He's not all the assists, all the caps, all the breaks, whatever it may be, but he's doing everything. He's doing all the dirty work. He's filling in all the gaps for his team, and they're going to go up against a very stout team, a very fast-paced, in-your-face, shotgun-heavy, brawl-star team. And we know each of these five faces because we've got a world champion there on the far right in SoLuRs. We've got a guy in Shock who's come very close time and time again. And we've got three young lords. Might as well put crowns on their head because they're trying to be kings out here in Xovios, Tidy, and Demise, PR.
Yep, very well said, and I want to go and take a deeper look at that man, Shock. If you look at the history of Hive, they've never had that one player or coach that really was above and beyond the IGL, the strategists, the things that they actually needed that went with their play style, and that is very important, having a coach, having the strategist that can go with your play style. This guy, they picked up Shock, and an in-game IGL, he likes to play fast, and he is the counterpart of that guy on the other team, Dyslexic. They played a lot of 2v2 Astro battles, so they know exactly how each of these guys are going to play. So I think it's really going to be on Shock's shoulders on the side of Hive to really maneuver these troops around, and nothing better than following a leader that leads by example in Shock. He's not going to send you into a fight that he wouldn't take himself.
And look, we just saw on the Twitter line how he likes to take 2v1s, which was pretty impressive for me to get to see. So his warm-ups have been going pretty impressively lately. They've been looking great. They've been looking fantastic, but not looking near as good as the player matchup that we're going to highlight in this game. And, oh, by the way, look who it is, PR. It's Dyslexic versus Shock. And we've been talking about it pretty much non-stop since we got this matchup on the board. This is going to be huge. Whichever of these players decides to turn up for their team, I'm pretty sure that's going to shift the battle in their favor.
And I don't know if you guys forgot, Colin. I know I didn't forget. It was probably one of my most memorable casting plays, Shock. What was that? A 1v7 with thousands of dollars on the line in our season finals, going up against F and I, putting the entire team on his back to advance. And that was that Kansas City Pioneers team. And you can already see what's going wrong with the Pioneers team after the departure of Shock. They're missing how good of an IGL, how good of a captain he can be. And that's exactly what I'm looking for him to bring over to this Hive squad. But like I said, that man Dyslexic, that unlocked character, he's waiting. He hasn't even reached his final form yet.
Hasn't even reached his final form. It's going to be impressive to see when he actually does reach that final form, what he can do against the likes of a squad like Hive, even going up against those upper echelon teams, those Vanquishes, those UYUs, those PKs, even Rise if they ever find themselves back into perfect form. But for right here, right now, all Dyslexic has to focus on is how they are going to beat Hive. And they've got a map selection pool in front of them that I think is pretty interesting from the sounds of the pick and fans. I can't wait to see if they got the maps through that they wanted to get through. I know they wanted to get Forge, and indeed, map number 1 is Forge PR. So does this look like it's setting up to be a Carnage Gaming series to you? Because they've been pretty stout on Asylum as well.
I mean, by the looks of it on paper, it might be, especially with how we've been watching some of these teams that got the auto invitation to the Pro League. Hive is one of those teams. They have had a slow start on the day. So looking to bounce back at Carnage Gaming, they're going to have to fire hot. They're going to have to come in and really slap Hive in the face in the beginning rounds of both map number 1 and map number 2. Because like I said, Hive added a strategist. So not only were they dangerous enough as it is with their all-out shock and aggression, now they have a different look, 2 dimensions to this roster, a different sort of play style, and having that up your sleeve, a little backup trick of sorts, that's going to be one of those things you can't really trust what the paper says. So even though on paper you might pick Carnage to go ahead and take this series, hey, you might be wrong.
All right, well, talking about who we're thinking about might take this, who we might pick to win this matchup between Carnage Gaming and Hive, let's get into our predictions, PR. We've been doing them all night long. Let's not break the cycle now. And I'm going to take the lead on this one yet again. And we all know, look, I'm a lot of hot air at times, but I have a big heart that I wear on my sleeve. And I always try to pick with my heart over my head. And I spoke earlier today about how much I like the players from Hive, how much I love their play style. And that's why I've picked them in this matchup. I'm picking Hive to take this thing, but I'm going to have to give it to them in a 2-1 war. They're going to have to go 3 maps yet again. But I cannot turn my backs on 2 guys on that team that I respect with all of my heart, and that is Noe or Xovios nowadays and Shock. I just think they're too good, and they're going to be too cool for school.
Yeah, I had a line in my head ready for this predictions call, and I thought you were going to pick Carnage Game, and I was like, you know what makes us a good duo? Because we challenge each other. You know what makes us a better duo? Because we think alike. We probably both are taking Hive. We both think this is going to be a Hive series, and I like a lot of the great additions. I even like what Carnage has been able to do, but the story of Carnage, besides qualifying for the Pro League, it's they usually come up short. They're not able to close out these games, and I think that is what's going to ail them. I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle between both of these teams, but I think Hive is going to have the leadership and Shock and the experience of being here before to take this series.
And what a surprise, PR. Look, I know you're probably not jaw-dropped to the floor seeing the chat is going to pick Carnage Gaming. They're the underdog pick, and we know that the crowd loves a good underdog story because both of those stupid talking heads have picked Hive. So we're going to go ahead and say that Carnage Gaming is going to win. The chat's rebelling against us. And look, I'm not going to be mad at them if they do win. If Carnage comes out and shows out with the bright lights on them in a big stage, then all bets are off a good form. But ladies and gentlemen, Forge will be map number 1 between Carnage Gaming and Hive. And this is going to be a good one, PR. I can't wait to get into it. So bring us on in, baby.
We already know the strategy coming down from both of these teams. 2 up top, 2 middle, 1 down low. But you already see it's going to be Demise and Xovios going up against some powerhouses of Carnage. One of those guys is going to be, I do believe that's Dyslexic and Absenz. Absenz is going to go ahead and save his teammate's life in Dyslexic. Demise making some good plays early on. And Dyslexic is chasing Shock with a nice flank, trying to even up this fight. So already we might have a double initial firing off if both of these teams can stay alive just a little bit longer.
Ooh. Shock is going to get that down in the out. He's going to be full red. He's got 1 more to worry about in front of him. He's going to be taken down. That's 3 dead on the side of Hive, and now SoLuRs has to rotate out. He's got to try to get safe in this situation. He's going to be caught between 3 different members of Carnage. He's going to get the reaction shot on one, though. SoLuRs showing why he's not just the single or duo time world champ. Man's got rings for days with some of the teams he's shown up and shown out on. So he's going to get another kill, which should prolong this round. And now I think Hive has to retake the control tower. They have to get that crossing angle down, and then they have to try to be able to retake B, because you can't go in the Hornet's Nest with that crossing angle up to that Lancer for free up top.
They just have to be careful here because they can't over-invest too many people up top. There's no hill up here. There's no weapons. But that's exactly what they want to do. They want to debate Dsylexic in, but they showed their hand too soon. So now Dsylexic and the rest of Carnage Gaming, he knows there's 2 players up there. They can maneuver around the rest of the map. You already see the overextension, home hill to home hill, realizing they have a man advantage for just a few seconds. They separated the defense from Hive into 2 separate 1v1s. They're going to get that decap, and now they're in prime position to take control of the rest of the game.
The big kill right now was Shockwqve getting a kill on 2 Shock at that mid cover. It actually stops the progression of Hive across the bottom of the map, trying to go home to home. Xovios is going to rotate in. He's going to get the down. Bane's going to be able to clean him up as well. Now here comes Carnage Gaming moving back in. Here comes the domination being threatened. And this could be round number 1 for Carnage Gaming. As you see, SoLuRs gets 1 final touch, but I don't believe it'll be enough. As you see, Demise, last alive for his team, will have to fight a 2v1 here.
I'm not sure if they're going to be able to spawn in. I'm not sure if they want to, as they realize getting their home hill is going to be that much harder as Hive concedes the rest of that round, and rightfully so. You want to get back up to 4 respawns left. You don't want to spawn in just to try and get that last-ditch effort. You want to make sure that you have at least a little bit of a hold on that match before you go ahead and spawn in. So round number 1 convincingly going over to Carnage from the start of that round towards the end. They kind of dominated through and through. So now we come into this weapon selection screen to where you kind of see the standard. Ever since those pistols got banned, both the Talent and the Boltok, you won't see them in use. You see a lot more utility going directly into these players' hands right out of spawn.
Yep, exactly like you said. The utility will probably come out for both teams. And again, the Hive has to win that initial there at the control tower. When they lost that control tower fight, Shock was getting shot down there at the bottom, staying about full red, being forced to stay in those back pillars and take those fights pretty awkwardly. It makes it that much harder for them to win that initial, get that initial pressure onto the side of Shockwqve. Nobody's rolled out of spawn. Want to just make sure and confirm before I make any outlandish statements like you know, ice took over the map or something and everybody's frozen in place, because Icebound is out. So we're not worried about ice right now. We're not worried about any snowstorms.
All right. So I got to go ahead and ask you. This is my chance, Professor Colin. I'm
God.
reporting for duty. I got my notepad out.
No.
I got my
Don't
notes.
do it to me.
What kind of lore can you tell us about Forge?
All right. The map Forge, if you really want to know and go about it, if you actually go over to the incinerator and our beautiful observer can get us over there, lickety split. It's one of my favorite little things when you look at the map Forge and you actually figure out what Forge was meant to do and the way it was built. So as you drill for emulsion into the earth, or when you were drilling for emulsion before the end of the events of Gears 3, one of the things that you had to do to turn emulsion into any kind of gasoline that you could use, it was inside of the rocks. That's why there's 8 torches up there in the incinerator, because the heat pressure that it takes to get the emulsion out of those rocks that you then mine out of the earth to try to turn into different fuel sources, it had to be temperatures nearing what would be the sun shining down on Sarah. That's why they have those 8 giant flame torches. So anytime you see anybody get barbecued inside of the incinerator, just imagine getting tossed into the edge of the sun, because that's literally what's happening to them. That's how they used to make the emulsion. As you can see there, keep away. Contamination. It's for emulsion. It's for the danger of the flames. You could get rust lung. You could get burned. Forge is a very dangerous map, ladies and gentlemen. Like my man Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life said, Emulsion Day is a very dangerous day.
Oh, I got my notepads out. Still writing down that last line, but maybe I can take some notes on this fight. Xovios gets taken out, and Demise quickly to follow, trying to be a hero, not prolonging that fight. Now this fight down low is going to be so important for Hive. You see the members of Carnage backing up, waiting for that flank to come through. So 4 members wiped off the map in an instant off this initial, leaving Tidy by himself, forced to buy time.
Tidy's going to go down here. 2 members of Carnage Gaming rotating over. Xovios throws the flash. They're going to get the stuns. They're going to get the touch at least. They need a couple of kills. 4 members of Carnage Gaming stacked up here, and it doesn't look like they're going to get anybody in this fight. Everybody for Hive is getting their head blown straight off.
Carnage Gaming showing up yet again, but I've seen this in the position before where they're dominating fights, especially the early portions of a map. It's towards the end. It's when they get 3, when they get 4 rounds, they begin to choke it away, probably changing up their gameplay, but you got to be close attention, or at least pay close attention to the fact that you might win those rounds, but there's a reason why you won those rounds. You played exactly how you wanted to play, so no reason to change it up. So I don't expect anything to change up too soon for this Carnage squad. On the other side of things, Hive, I expect them to match this utility. From there, that's when we'll start to see the tricks up some of these players' sleeves.
Now you see the smoke grenades coming out. They're going to go into the security office. I'm curious to see if a Hive will go ahead and try to build that up toward maybe a Torque, maybe a Claw, something that we haven't gotten to see yet tonight, really, in that Claw. We got to see the Torque earlier on the side of Noble in their 5-0 trouncing.
I really wanted that Claw.
I did too, buddy. Don't worry. We're in that together.
SoLuRs.
Love to see this, though.
Towards the low side, I do believe those SoLuRs and Shock getting that first blood. Demise and Xovios losing it up top just as fast. So kind of a split battle one. SoLuRs knowing that flank should come sooner rather than later. He's going to meet them there. And I like where he's positioning it as well. This is on his side of the map. So once his teammates spawn up, they will have that Lancer. But some reason, he's by himself. Where does Shock rotate to? They're on 2 different pages, and it's costing them.
Definitely is costing him. Tidy's trying to come on the flank now into the middle of the map. I don't know if he's hidden enough to get a free kill here on Dsylexic or his teammate. He is going to get one. Dsylexic is going to get the call out. He pulls his shot. It's a great shot on a Tidy. Tidy's going to get Lancer down the entire time. There's the cleanup on him. Now Carnage Gaming is going to move forward. They're going to go for an impressive 3-0 victory, or 3-0 round count victory over the side of Hive, because they are pressuring them out of their home hill. The B hill is still in their favor. You can see the 1v1 breaking out at the A hill right now, and it looks like actually Xovios is going to win that. So Xovios might be putting the pressure back on Carnage by winning that 1v1.
That's exactly the storage Carnage they can do, but 2 hills going over to Hive. And you see 2 members of Carnage wasting no time. They realize they have to get this hill. They have to keep it decapped. And Xovios fighting it all by himself. He was on the other side of the map. He did buy his team some time. You see the rotation going over towards this neutral. Tidy's going to have to get this cap and stay close to Shock. That is important. Wolfpacking together, making sure that they get the revives instead of just kind of getting them lancered out to their death. So now that the decap's going to come through, it's going to allow Hive to solidify that 4-point lead here for just a moment. So you know Carnage Gaming's going to be forced to make this move, and it wastes no time making that move, immediately going for the pillars. You gotta watch the flank through the middle, and they get lancered out. That just makes it that much easier for Fate. He's gonna solidify the double kill. Eventually, SoLuRs should fall as Carnage Gaming look to put the pressure on.
You know, I don't wanna beat a dead horse, but did you see how many pellets Fate actually had to hit on Shock to get down based on the Lancer damage they had already done to him?
How many?
It was 2. It was 2 pellets from a pretty sizable range. Domination being threatened momentarily. SoLuRs is going to bounce around. He's going to try to bounce in and get a touch and keep prolonging these rounds. They know they've got their home hill for a moment. Shock is going to try to chase out another kill. I believe that is Dsylexic in front of him. It is, and he's going to get that kill and that win. They've got number 7 there in the middle. That's going to be Feint. Feint has BGod behind him at the B hill. They've got to try to pinch them out. Xovios is going to get 1. He's got to worry about keep BGod behind him, making sure that he doesn't kill Shock. There's another down. There's the break. 30 points to go for Carnage to get a 3-0 lead. But meanwhile, Demise is going to try to hold them off from getting their home hill for now, but they've got to keep it this way for probably about 20 seconds in order to get this round in their favor. They're going to have to get one more touch on the A hill, I believe. No, they still have the win condition. That's huge.
That's definitely huge, especially in the later portion of the game. I was going to say that power position towards the pillars was going to play a huge tail. Now Hive, they just can't get caught out here. Tidy, Shock, they're both going to go down. The door is being opened wide for Carnage. It's going to be all up to Demise here, but there's 3 members of Carnage waiting for him. They're not going to let him escape easy. He doesn't even get an elimination. They're overextending. B gets decapped. 7's on the hill. SoLuRs makes a play, but is it too late? Hive, the kills are going to be decapped, and Swarm steals it away.
And my goodness gracious, good God almighty, Carnage come back from the throes of defeat. And even though you see the respawn being low for a couple members of Carnage, I mean, they have played to perfection. They have a 3-0 round count lead in their favor. They have done it on the backs of some great teamwork. Lancer Fire getting those shoddy kills in the CQC. they're not going to play Hive's game. They're going to use those Lancers. They're going to force them to play their game, which is the perfect game plan for Carnage Gaming. Yes, you can play at those high speeds. You can get those close quarter combat kills with the shotgun, but there's no need to when you can sit back Lancer and force Hive to make those smarter decisions. About
smarter decisions, Hive places that drop shot middle, trying to force some fights between these two teams. You see the 1v1 low side. Hive's gonna go for that early cap, put that flank potential to come through. They get the middle. They sent 2 players low side from Carnage Gaming, so it's not going to be a free drop shot coming through. Players are actually getting lancered out. Xovios loses the 1v1 up top. That is going to be crucial because you already see Absenz coming in with a flank. Bates just need to stay alive here, buy his team some time, but the slaying power from Hive in this round is too strong. They're able to get 2. They're wolfing packing as 3 to make sure they secure that drop shot. As soon as SoLuRs gets out alive, this is going to be a successful initial, but a wasted drop shot. Man, I spoke too soon.
You spoke too soon indeed. He's only going to have 1 more rocket in his pocket, but they do have the 2-to-1 hill advantage and a pretty sizable point lead for now, and it's only going to get worse because you can't really push against this tide with that drop shot looming in the background. You have to make sure it's picture perfect. You have to get him to waste the second one as well. So this is going to be a very interesting push out of Carnage Gaming. Try to bait the revive and get a double kill if you're Shock, I believe.
That's going to be a big kill coming through. Dsylexic does get taken out. Hive does hold on to both of these hills, and these players from Carnage are kind of funneled in towards the middle. Lots of Lancer fire being answered out. BGod, first one going down. A drop shot being shot out. Shock misses. That's not normal for Shock, but that's a great blessing for Carnage. That could have been a double kill, but the pressure is still on for Hive. Xovios gets the first down. Instant revive, an uptime bot, so there's going to be 5 back up for Carnage. You see the reposition going down for Hive, as they know they're going to have to defend. Possibly 1 good push coming through for Carnage, their last opportunity in this round.
Carnage is already on the A hill. They've pushed 3 members all the way across. Tidy's trying to get the sneak kill. Gets the first shot on him, the down and the out. A big kill for them. They need to get him in the backside of that next member of Carnage, but here comes another member. That's going to be BGod. He's going to push up. He's going to make sure that Tidy can't get the flank on to Dsylexic, I believe. SoLuRs, though. Great rotation out by him and a great second kill. SoLuRs, I've called him the perfect soldier before, and I stand by that word. Anytime you've needed SoLuRs to make a big play, he's the man to do it. He's a myth. He's a legend in the community.
I thought Shock was going to be able to save SoLuRs' life there. Does get the elimination. They have a massive score lead here, so they're going to go ahead and try to backtrack. They just need to make sure that they pick one of these hills, make it their home, and defend it with their life, because Carnage not only has to decap the neutral hill, but they got to decap the home hill of Hive as well. They have to fight through the entire army, the entire beehive to make it happen, and I don't think they have the reinforcements to come through.
So real quick, let's go through this as we see that last second tick through. It is a 3-1 round count. If you're a fan of Hive, you hang your hat on the fact that when it came down to it, when it was that last round of the half, you ended up winning enough fights to have the respawn count so in your favor that 2 members of Carnage Gaming were completely eliminated, and you had an effective 5v3 in the final 15 to 20 seconds of that round. Do you look at your teammates and go, hey guys, look, all we got to do is survive and advance. We get this to 3-3. We get this to 4-4. We've got a good chance, especially based on that first half, to get them eliminated down and out so that we can move on and get this map #1 in our belts.
I mean, I could definitely see that being a conversation within their communication, but the thing about this is it's much easier said than done, especially the way Carnage has been playing. So that first round going over to Hive, the last round of the half, now they're on the board, but it's not just yet. They haven't gained the momentum on their side. They're going to have to do it again and again. 2 more rounds in a row for me to be convinced otherwise. On this initial, Dsylexic wasting no time, going from one side of the map to the other. The flank could be huge. They get first blood on Tidy. So now a 4v5 is going to go ahead and continue. Hive trying to make plays, make that a 3v5. Xovios loses his life up top. Hive sitting in the middle. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
That's the big difference to me right now. That's the difference maker, if you ask me. The fact that Xovios cannot come away with a win up top is what's causing a lot of these early round dominations by Carnage Gaming.
So you're saying, would you rather Xovios try and take the fight and do what he's doing, or do you want him to just kind of sit there, prolong, and just camp it out? What would be better in this position?
For me personally, I have a huge amount of faith in Xovios as a player, I think one of the things that's very underrated about him, I know a lot of people might not like his attitude, might say he's a little immature. I think when it comes down to it, he wants to win as much, if not more, than anybody else. So I'm looking at him, I'm saying, hey, man, what's going on up top? What can we do to help? Do we send an extra man up there? Do we need to take you out of the fight and put your shotgun down there in the pillars and let Demise try to take that 1v1? But it's not going to help that Shockwqve has decided he's going to take SoLuRs down and out in the first 10 seconds of the round.
Good old-fashioned Robin Hood play from the start, but talk about putting an extra man up top. They're just going to go ahead and switch it up completely. Demise winning that exchange. Xovios immediately putting some Lancer fire down. So the good switch up, the audible coming through from Hive, looking like it's going to work out for them in the end. Xovios cleans up another one, a crucial shot. How did he even land that first shot? That is going to be the playmaking shot for Xovios. Gets Lancer out. And the damage has been done, but somehow Carnage is sneaking this round away. They go for Mr. Krabs, get behind enemy lines, but it is going to be thwarted for the time being. Demise and Xovios making it happen. A team kill coming out from BGod. So this onslaught from Hive is going to continue on Carnage's home hill.
And I like BGod right there, trying to get a flank. He shot off that drop shot, killed his teammate. Now you see he goes to try to come into the fight and help out. Xovios is going to go down. They're going to be able to revive BGod off. They're going to get to the top control center. They're going to be in a 2v2 up here. There's another kill for SoLuRs up there. Going to push out that next member. That is going to be Shockwqve who's rotating back. They still have a 2-to-1 advantage. I don't see the rocket in the drop shot, but the drop shot indeed has one shot left in it, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. There's the correct animation. I can see it now. Long range drop onto Shock. It's going to get some damage. He might go down. He will go down around the corner. No, he's there, though, with a quick revive. And it is a 4v3 on the backside of the map. I need to see them pressure up on the home hill. They've got to bring somebody back out into that security deck to try to put pressure onto that home hill. You're going to see two members of Hive now pressuring up on Absenz. That's going to be SoLuRs. Absenz trying to back up. SoLuRs is going to make quick work of him. Now SoLuRs rotates over to the control room. Security will be pinched out. Everybody from Hive is around the map. They have the flashes. They have the opportunity to go for the triple cap domination. Nobody's going to have a chance to break into E just yet. BGod, one back A. Shot over the cover, gets another. He's going to have a revive out from behind. And now they've just got to worry about Tidy.
Wow, that was impressive by BGod. I thought he was certainly going to get taken out on that miss roll, but he finds himself another elimination. SoLuRs with the sneaky play, trying to make it happen. He might have showed himself too soon here. He will certainly get crossed out. Reinforcements coming through. Demise is going to get the trade, but SoLuRs is not going to get any kill, so it's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Carnage. Immediately rotating over to the neutral hill. They know that's going to be the next point of contact for Hive. Pressing the button. No capture coming through. Shock even burns. We learned about the history, and Shock is going to learn firsthand as he is going to be turned into emulsion. Drop shot going in hands, and even Torque in the hands of Carnage. They're literally setting up to close out map number 1.
Who's next? Hey, look, I'm not so shocked that Carnage has played so well on Forge. This was their map pick. It's where they wanted to go up against Hive on, so they're proving that their map pick is, without a doubt, their strong suit. Oh, he's going to die there trying to retake the E hill. Dyslexic's going to throw out a Torque. Oh, he's not going to make it. He's going to go for the quick reload. Active Torque in hand. Shot at the SoLuRs. Not going to be able to connect. No splash damage either. Shockwqve, last drop shot in the chamber now. He's going to be able to shoot it at Tidy if he so chooses. He's going to go for a little flank shot out to the left, try to push him out to the right. Sees him roll back left, though, so he's still got it in his hand. This is an easy kill for him if he can find somebody waiting in the wings on a cover. Here comes Xovios. He's baiting in the double kill here. Xovios with the shot. Here comes the long range drop any moment. Or not. There's no way. Like, okay, I guess he used it to save the E hill. Congratulations, he did it.
I was definitely thinking he was going to use it to try to get that double kill, push up afterwards, but it happens nonetheless. BGod does get taken out. The incinerator going off. Multiple players going to get taken out. SoLuRs met the same demise as Dyslexic late into the game. Carnage looking to hold on. They just need this final hill. Shock needs a miracle. Those 3 players from Carnage make it 4 all around. They're going to have to make it 3v4 stop. Make it a 3v5 as somebody else go ahead and gets through. Absenz went for a sneaky play, but nobody able to reach the hill in time as Carnage in 4 minutes win the final round and take the map 5-1.
It was a war of attrition for Carnage to get that final round, but they do it in scintillating, sensational fashion as they finish it off and get that 1-0 map lead over the side of Hive. And again, I can't say I'm so shocked by that. I've gotten to witness Carnage play Forge very, very well in the past few weeks. They have done fantastic on that map. we're now going to go over to Hive's map pick. So I'll be able to see really the tale of two stories if they can dominate their map pick just as much as Carnage dominated their own. But I think the story of that map, ladies and gentlemen, has got to be just how dominant Carnage Gaming was in the early initials PR.
Yep, and I just feel like, I mean, if you related this to football, it just seems like Hive could not get past midfield. A lot of their moves, a lot of their big plays, even some of those multi-kills, it was on their side of the map. It was answering back what Carnage aggression led them to do. It was time and time again, even though it might have been First Blood going over to Shock, First Blood going over to Tidy, when it was all said and done, this Carnage squad not only ended these rounds convincingly, but they ended the map. This is a whole different look from Carnage that I've seen since the qualification process. I said I thought they would struggle to close out these games, but they not only proven me wrong, but they're proving a lot of their competitors wrong as well.
Beautiful Robin Hood play. I mean, I saw it again there just on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, for the highlight reel of that first map. Shockwqve shutting things down at the E-Hill with a couple of kills, making sure that they couldn't get the recap on it late in the game. There it is. Once again, 5-1 was your round count. Carnage Gaming leads this thing 1-0. We moved to map number 2, which is Hive's map pick. We got to see them play this map earlier against Elevate. They did very well on it. They ended up winning it for a map 3 to get the series win, under their belt. So we moved to Hive's map pick. We moved to Asylum. What is the biggest differential between the way Forge plays and the way Asylum plays, and what might go into Hive's favor in that differential?
Well, a lot of the fights here, like Forge, even with the drop shot in towards the middle, you see a lot of open space fights, a lot of Lancer fire, pistol fire. Yeah, you might have a 2v2 somewhere on the map going heavy with the shotgun, but on a map like Asylum, like we've seen already today, that E fight in the second half towards the street, it's a lot of team fire down, a lot of dependence on that utility. And the tracks early on, you almost see the same thing, a lot of team play, a team possibly waiting for those tracks to really separate, and then possibly run 3 on the tracks versus 2, you take the positional and man advantage as soon as you can. So unlike Forge, Asylum has different fights that play on different sides of the map, but those fights are usually close-quartered fights. They're usually wolfpack fights, and you usually stick together in order to come out on top. So if I'm looking at Hive, anything they can switch up, it is going to be how they maneuver around the map at one another.
So we're going to have to see if the rotations become crispier and cleaner for Hive going into map number 2. It's going to be a tall task. Again, you lose 5-1. That is a huge defeat, if you ask me. I mean, that is one of those things where if you lose 5-4, 5-3, even 5-2, you can kind of chalk that up to, things might not have gone our way in certain rounds. 5-0, 5-1, that's always just is my butt as red as I think it is? Because I swear to God, we just got it kicked pretty decently hard, because they are coming off the back of a pretty damning loss on to Forge. They got to go on to Asylum. I think one of the things that we really need to see, they're going to go with that standard meta. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see anybody go crazy where we're going to see the Shocks, we're going to see the Incendiaries. We might see that drop shot late in the game at one of those 3 midpoints on that middle tier of the map, those middle weapon trees. But I'm going to have to see some better play out of those initials. I mean, again, I can't speak enough about it. Hive really struggled until they made that change late in the game, but it was too little too late, where they said, all right, Xovios, you're really good in that fight, but Demise is going to get there a little bit quicker, and it's going to make the fight a little bit more even. Sending that player 4 up there, it might get somebody that's really good in the fight. I mean, it would be like the difference in having me go up there just because you think I'm going to be good at the fight versus you who's going to get there first. Like, Colin, you're going to be all right at it, and you might prolong it, and then I'm just up there getting my brains bashed in, and I'm like, PR, please, dog, please save me.
Coming towards the back end on that one, but this is where it is going to get interesting, because Hive, like I said, they haven't really seen any offense. They couldn't get past midfield, in other terms. So coming in this map, if you look at last season, last split throughout the course of the game, this was probably one of their most played maps, probably one of their most successful maps. They won a lot of round number 9s when it went late into these games. So I don't expect this map number 2 to be easy for Hive, but I do expect them to really find themselves in this map. One of their best maps, like I said, one of their most played maps, and they're going to have to really utilize having an IGL like Shock, because a team like this, they're so shotgun heavy, they're so go hunt. Sometimes they might forget that they have somebody really to break down and analyze what's going on while in game, and that's going to be the biggest part, is working Shock into their game plan, into their strategies. I think that's going to be one of the biggest strengths that Shock brings to this team.
And they're going to have to use his intellect. They're going to have to use his in-game strategies really early in this one. Again, if it goes to that standard meta where we just see a lot of smokes, a lot of incendiary, a lot of flashes, a lot of incendiaries, you're going to have to make those mid-game adjustments quicker rather than later. He's going to have to be able to break down the situation very quickly, process who's losing what fights and where, and how do we rotate our troops around the map, because that's one of the more difficult things, if you ask me, to see or be able to tell, especially against a team like Carnage, who can kind of switch it up on you, who has 5 guys that don't really have, I don't want to say defined roles, because we all know Dsylexic is kind of that IGL, that head slayer. He can kind of do it all. But I don't really ever see them kind of sticking to brass tacks. They're willing to metamorphose themselves around the map however they need be, fill in the gaps. So against a team like Carnage, Shock needs to be that much quicker, that much smarter, that much better to make those in-game adjustments, those in-game rotations. But the only way for us to figure all this out, to see if any of this comes to fruition or if this is all just silly posturing on our behalf, PR, is to get into map number 2, which I have heard from the word of God himself. He said, hey, map number 2 is loading up, and I take his word for it each and every time he speaks the gospel to me, PR. So I'm excited to get into this one. I hope to see Hive take it to a map 3 because, I mean, I'm used to looking dumb, but I don't want to look that dumb.
not today, and I'm right there with you. And this is where it is going to be the biggest thing. I know we put a lot of pressure on Shock, being the IGL, being the new guy on the squad, but being that core 4 squad for Hive, they also kind of really need to pick it up. They were in this position before, and they need to shine bright here. Forcing a map number 3 is not a option for this squad if they're looking to continue their undefeated streak in week 1 of the Pro League. So as we get into the game, I'm looking at this overhead map and already see Hive set the tone, set the pace, sending most of their numbers toward that track, trying to get the early capture and point lead.
And I like that rotation by Xovios. He actually pushes back into the middle. He tries to get the shots onto the top entrance side of the map, trying to slow up that retake by the side of Carnage Gaming, who's already rotated 4 people to the entrance side of the map. They're trying to get that home-to-home stretch, and it's been shut down for now as they get that first kill. Dsylexic pops out, 2 shots onto Shock. They get the down, another 2 shots onto him, and there's the kill. Demise is going to continue to back up. Dsylexic is going to push in a couple of bounces later, and Paddock finds himself on the wrong end of an Asher, and Tidy will have himself a kill in this round already.
Yeah, he was doing a good job there, Dsylexic pushing in, grading that opening for the rest of the squad, but getting a little greedy, goes right into the door, gets chunked out. His teammate was right there. He just needed to buy a little bit more time. They possibly would have solidified that home hill to home hill push. Now, the entirety of the remaining members on that push are going to have to backtrack, go all the way around the map, and it's going to be telegraphed. The Hive roster is going to see that push coming through, and they're going to be ready for it. You see 3 members directly on the tracks, with a 4th member kind of watching middle, getting that extra cheeky angle that we've seen all last season.
Shockwqve coming into that B hill now. He's going to try to push up, try to get that quick back A, that aimed back A, that hard back A, as you like to call it, onto that first player. I believe that was SoLuRs that had to back all the way up. Here comes a back train. It'll stop them from rotating to the backside of the tracks to try to get that shot into the B hill. You're going to see Tidy mount up and try to get shots on Absenz. They're going to get it down onto him. Shockwqve is going to move in. More damage onto multiple members of Carnage Gaming. They're going to get these extra downs. They're going to go for these outs here in just a moment, but I love the way that Hive is playing this. They're trying to make them down by outing, and there's the pressure. Xovios hit him from... Yo, what?
He hit him with the airbender shot, right? Oh my God. And then he does that reaction shot, and then he gets that other kill on Fate, cleaning up SoLuRs kill, working together, and that's the Xovios we needed to see.
PR, I'm calling 911 right now. Xovios just stole that man, all right? He stole that man. He stole his heart, his soul, his... Look at the whole...
He passed. I tapped out. He gave up. And that's where I'm thinking, like, Xovios, man. Thank God they dropped Noe and picked up Xovios.
Yo, like, that Noe kid couldn't make that shot. Yo, the hell again. It doesn't, like, even in slow motion. That's the, you know what, from here on out, PR, that's the D-A-H-E-double-L shot, all right? That's the Dale shot. I don't even know.
Damn.
Dale shot, man. Hit him right in the back. Exploded him. Terrible.
I see somebody pass out again. I'm just going to yell, the hell?
That's right. My God. Xovios, he has right hand on this side of the map. If he goes to the middle of the map, goes to this middle pillar, you give it up if you go inside the back cave, but it looks like they're going to go in for the cleanup there. BGod is going to back up. A lot of smoke grenades will come out. They're going to try to get damage across the middle of the map. BGod, there at that cubby corner, playing that beautiful Farmer Dom skin, ladies and gentlemen. Now you're going to see BGod try to get more L triggers, but look at all the Lancer fire from the Hive. Oh my goodness gracious.
Absenz. He's doing what he can along with his teammate. The hill capture isn't important here. It's buying time, getting your team to respawn, and trading away these eliminations. So far, that has not been the case other than buying time. Shockwqve able to get one, so it's traded off basically one apiece. Fate gets taken down. Shockwqve doing everything in his power to keep his team in this. A couple more eliminations coming through, and they fight off the onslaught of Hive members, but I might have spoke too soon. BGod gets taken out. Shockwqve does it again. It's all Shockwqve or nothing. He goes in for the last second touch, tries to regain his health, but it's simply not enough. He needed help, Colin. He needed help in that round so bad, and he just did not get it.
He needed help. He needed a whole lot, and all he found was SoLuRs with his dead friend in his arms. Like, hey, man, I'm going to take this admin hill, all right? You keep playing outside. Don't worry about this. I'll take care of this. You can continue to play out there. I'll have fun. I'll get the 2-0 lead. And this is the exact opposite. I mean, if we don't see Carnage Gaming answer back here shortly, they're not even putting up, like, at least Hive was putting up a fight on map 1. This is a completely different situation from Forge. This is a dominating performance by Hive. This almost seems like a different team.
Almost see why. It's one of their most played maps, probably their most successful throughout the game's release. Even without some changes, round changes within escalation, different timings and things like that, they've stayed consistent on it. And here comes another initial. The damage being put out to Absenz is just massive. Shock and Xovios working together. He's going to down him out. And now this is going to exchange all the way towards the tracks. Shockwqve's going to be able to get one, but I don't think he has enough. There's going to be nobody to get the reinforcements. BGod doing what he can, but the numbers from Hive is going to be too much. Xovios work together with his team, and this is where I like the play coming through, Colin. Instead of getting greedy, instead of overextending towards the home hill, he realized how short these respawn timers are getting, so he's going to backtrack and try to set up.
Absenz shots over that middle part of the tracks. He's going to get some damage on, but the train's going to stop him from getting any kind of down, and once again, Hive is set up. They're going to amass a point lead here. Not going to be able to do much about it until that train goes away. SoLuRs takes the backside of the train tracks. Dsylexic all the way from the top side of the map is trying to get shots onto SoLuRs. They get enough damage onto him. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to push onto him. That's why I pulled that Nasher out, but enough damage will come through that they're actually going to push up and go for this retake. But Feint finds out the hard way that SoLuRs, my goodness gracious, from, I believe, the great state of California, just a little remembrance there of Kobe and a little kiss over the cover with that incendiary.
BGod. Woo! Look like Usain Bolt running down the track field, getting a triple kill. He should get taken out. Actually, Absenz is trying to save the day. He misses that crucial shot, though, but lands a haymaker. He needs to go wide. He can solidify it, and he gets it. So basically, 4 kills for 1 on that side of the map. Demise doing what he can as one of the lone members for a Hive, trying to fight back for every inch possible as he got that elimination, buying some time, allowing the Hive members to spawn up and quickly take over the track. So this is going to be so important because Hive has a 50-plus point lead, and they're trying to hold on to it.
They've got a 50-point-plus lead. We finally find life out of Carnage Gaming in this map. They're doing a good job of staying in this round. There's another down here at the B hill, down at the bottom of the tracks. Dsylexic is going to push up. Double trains will be coming through. It looks like they're going to be cut off from him. BGod's going to be in the area. You're going to see the shots over the cover. They're going to go for that revive. Double kill comes through. BGod shoots Xovios. Dsylexic shoots Tidy. And now they're going to have a chance to push on to the C hill toward the home hill of Hive. Dsylexic allows, I believe that was SoLuRs, to try to go for the up A, and they take care of business there. This could be a triple cap domination here very shortly, and we could have ourselves a 2-to-1 round count in map number 2 if they can finish this one off in style.
This is one of those rounds where you're just controlling it almost the entire way through, but one clutch play, one big moment from a single player on the enemy team, and it opened the doors wide open. Carnage is not only able to nullify that neutral hill at B, but overextend due to eliminations onto that home hill. And then from there, even though that player did spawn up trying to make a last-ditch effort, it was basically all for nothing. You might as well have saved that respawn. So when we go back to the weapon selection screen, we know how this map is going to play out. You see the Incense already, so you know shocks and flash grenades are going to be the next things on the field.
There we go. You see the flashes out on both sides being placed, and this will be a pretty definitive round number 4, if you ask me. If I'm a Hive fan, if I'm on Hive, I need to take a 3-1 right here. You cannot go into the half tied up. It's too close to call. It's one of those things where you're not shaky, but down one map, especially with the performance you had on Forge, you don't want to go into this round tied up. And you're going to see Xovios try to push up. He's going to try to get this shot onto BGod. BGod backing out. Incendiary's out from everybody. Shockwqve caught at the bottom of the tracks. He's going to push up, tries to get another shot onto Tidy. Tidy with a little bit of an up A there. We'll get that down to BGod. Meanwhile, he's going to get lanced out by Tidy. Tidy's going to be left in a 3 versus 1 down here at the bottom. It looks like until some help comes through from the middle of the map. That's going to be Shock trying to rotate down here, but he's going to be lanced out in the back. Another 2 deaths will come through, and it looks like Carnage is going to try to tie things up here early as they are pushing onto the home hill. Absenz is trying to push up, get the shot on, but doesn't get the kill, and now here comes Xovios off of spawn. Gets the back A and the down, but won't be able to get any kind of kills, and Carnage Gaming is rolling.
When these flanks work for Carnage Gaming, they definitely work. They usually, every time a successful flank happens, they win a round. You kind of saw it before. You're going to see it here again. And I like the way they backed up, playing for damage, playing for the down, realizing you don't need to get in chunk range. It's not high risk, high reward. Unfortunately, Shockwqve is going to get taken down. Probably getting greedy with positioning. SoLuRs, he's going to get taken down, but 2 more members push in. Absenz is all by his lonesome. Bouncing around. Oh my God. He tries to make it happen. Able to get one. Finally getting shut down. Bates in that same position. He gets one of his own. He gets the second down as well. Carnage Gaming looking to close this one out. Reloads at the wrong time, though. He pays for it in the end, but the damage to the respawn economy and Hive, it's a 4v5. You're out of the game, Tidy. Hopefully your team can do better without you.
Xovios gets another kill there onto Shockwqve, and right here, right now, Carnage can pretty much take every single fight that they so choose to, because everybody for Hive except Demise are on their final life. Tidy's already out of the map. Dsylexic trying to bait him into a shotgun fight. This is going to be one of those instances where Hive can sit back on the 2-1 hill. They'll eventually win, but all Carnage has to do is basically pick off 1 member of Hive every single push, and they win this round. There goes SoLuRs. BGod's in the area. They're going for the quick revive. Demise hits him with the slide shot and gets the kill. Shockwqve all the way back up to his side of the stairs, but another kill. Xovios is down and out. That is a 3v5 effective right now, and Hive is on their back foot. They're trying to go home to home, trying to apply the pressure still. Demise needs another kill, but he won't be able to find it. Demise will come off of respawn now, but 3 members of Hive are already out of this one. Shock looks like he'll go down. That is 4, and Demise won't be able to make it in. That's the elimination. Domination. 2-2 tied up going into the second half.
Carnage just keeping the pressure up, and that is huge. So even though it did look like a couple moments their Hive had opportunities to come back, their respawn economy said, nope, 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 not going to happen. You're going to have to play a little safe. As you even said it yourself, a couple quick eliminations is going to go ahead and make it a 4v5, 3v5, and then the round is going to be over. So luckily for them, that is going to be halftime, all tied up 2 rounds apiece as the shot grenades make their appearance, and all the respawn economy is all the way back up to 4 apiece, but the hills will swap. And this is usually where Hive begins to excel, but the way Carnage has been shutting down a lot of what they have, I'm not sure that's going to be the case here.
Eyes on target.
I want to see who uses the first initial utilities up here at the E-Hill. Tidy's there with the flash. BGod, I'm curious, they're going to rotate over those flashes and shocks. We all know that they probably will. Who's going to try to make the first move? It looks like Hive does have the point tick in their favor, so I believe it is going to be Carnage that has to make that first move. They're going to have to try to initiate the fight and try to either get a touch onto E, get the cap, or get that decap there at the F-hill to put the pressure back on Hive.
You see, Hive having that 1 point tick, they can be the team that uses it second, but both players actually missing that instant grenade. That's going to be huge. Shot grenade being thrown out by Hive. Unable to connect with any downs just yet, but enough space left open for the revive to come through. So this is kind of stalemated. Unfortunately for Hive, though, Carnage goes in and gets that decap, or gets the capture. Decap attempt coming in for Hive. Flank coming in through Demise. That's going to be 1. That's going to be 2. Make that 3 as SoLuRs finds the 3rd. Shockwqve at it again, though. Every time a big play is needed for Carnage, he steps up to the play and knocks it out of the park.
Told you, man, pre-game, Shockwqve is that dude. He knows exactly what he has to do to keep his team into fights and into rounds. You're going to see Shockwqve up top. He's going to try to win another 1v1. Won't be able to get this one. Tidy will secure up the E hill. It looks like they've also rotated out of there. They've got a decent-sized point lead, 20, and it's only going to build up from here as 2-to-1 hill advantage in favor of Hive. You wait for the respawns of those utilities, and then you go for a retake here. I don't want to see Hive continue to be careless with their respawns or their lives. I want to see them try to drain a couple of more lives out of Carnage Gaming in this one. Nobody's going to be silly, though, for Carnage. I believe the discipline for Carnage right now is a little too high. It's going to be a little too good. There's the flash grenade. You're going to see Demise actually go down. Faint's going to get another down on him as well. They're going to try to get a kill here on Demise. They will get it. That is a beautiful job by Carnage to not just get the kill, to get the cap as well. That puts him right back in the driver's seat.
The only utility left in the hands of Hive is Xovios. He's across the map. He's not in a position to where he can help that fight up top. And this is where I want to see him utilize that utility. Push across down low. Start the fight. Let these people who respawn back up get in a position to help. But unfortunately for Hive, nothing's on their side today. Tidy does kind of lag out. So they're going to do the rest of this round 4v5. Good luck to them.
Good luck to them indeed. Absenz is just going to sit back and relax on his laurels. Oh. Hey now, Shock. Hey now. My man likes it with extra crispy.
This is one of those rounds that you think Hive would have had a lock for at least most of it, but a couple of actually big slaying plays coming through from Hive. The tables are turning just a little bit. The score lead is a throw stone away. BGod going for the decap, but the only team getting points right now is going to be Hive. BGod does get taken out. 2 hills in favor of Hive, and they're actually going to pull this one out. You got to imagine the respawn economy from Carnage. They were probably trying to protect it, maybe even trying to make it a little bit fair. Don't really know what happened on the side of Carnage, but losing a 4v5 is not the answer.
I didn't see that one on the board in the locker room getting drawn up either. Not the play call. Not the play call at all, PR.
I think right there, like I was saying, Xovios towards the low side. I thought he could have started that play, started the push, tried to make something happen, but unfortunately, Tidy did lag out. So this weapon selection screen is going to be a little bit longer. We already know since Hive did win that round, they get first pick. They're going to go and half that shot grenade down to 60 seconds. And the way Hive plays that E entrance fight over towards that entirety of the street, having that shock every single minute is really going to up your potential on that side of the map, but it does look like it's going to be answered back. It's going to be mirrored with a half of the shock grenade on the side of Carnage. So while we take, this extra moment, both of these teams are going to have that extra bit of time to think up the strategy coming into this next one. So I got to go ahead and ask you, I know you watch a ton of Gears of War and you like to get in the heads of some of these players. What sort of strategy would you employ if you're Carnage looking to take that round back?
If I'm Carnage, I come out here, I just overload the bottom half of the map. Go home to home, let them have entrance. See what they do. See how they react to that. Do they try to push across? Do they try to go all the way around? Play the over-rotation game? Because what you do by pushing them up to the entrance is if you take that both sides of the bottom of the map, anybody that comes down will get lancered out as they come back to the home. And if they over-rotate and now you're up at E and they try to come out of your home back to the top side of the map, they're going to get lancered coming back up the elevation. So it's just one of those things where you're going to try to take the power position on the map. You're going to try to take the ability to force them into bad situations, force them into bad fights for the rest of the round. If you can start it out by just overloading that train track side. And I think that's one of the things that we don't see enough of. We don't see enough teams go for that that overload, the extra man on one side or the other, and try to force a fight somewhere else.
Can I ask the professor a question? Can I ask Professor Colin a question?
Oh, God, what I do now?
You've given us a lot of lore on this map probably already. Is there anything that you think you have not told us yet?
If you go over to where Carnage Gaming is spawned right now, behind them, you can actually find some pretty interesting names on the missing. I'll see if you can guess any of them, but there's some pretty interesting names on the missing board. I know you should know one of them because I know one of them you've probably, I don't want to say played with. I want to say played against. I think maybe is probably the best. There it is, top left. Top left, not played against.
Oh my God, the captain himself, Barbosa. A huge in-game shot. I wonder if he knows about that. Somebody clipped this. Somebody sent this.
I actually tweeted it out
man.
the week that the game came out when I first saw it because You know me, I spend a lot of time looking for stupidity on maps like Easter eggs and stuff.
They put it in there for a reason.
I would have to assume so, right? So I saw Probosa, so that's the interesting name on the deceased list behind where Carnage Gaming is spawned. I thought it was missing. I really forgot that it was deceased. I thought it was missing.
Sorry, Barbosa, man. We'll definitely bring it back to life here. We'll definitely give you a shout out. So you guys don't know who Captain Barbosa is. During some of the dark stages of Gears of War Esports, you know, we had Hypefestation, and one of the people behind Hypefestation, one of the massive people behind Hypefestation is Captain Barbosa, taking his own funds, making sure the community had something to play for almost at all stages throughout the game's lifestyle. He kind of led the charge as the coalition got into the scene. So if you guys want to learn more about Captain Barbosa, make sure you guys go to YouTube, search up Hypefestation, learn the roots of the game. It dates back all the way to Gears of War 3, but you guys could do that another time because now we're back. You see weapons getting picked up, hills getting capped, the action has resumed.
As the action picks back up here, you're going to see the smokes break out. Hive pushes into the E-Hill just momentarily, but once again, we're going to have to take a look. I believe it's Carnage this time will have the tick, ladies and gentlemen. So now it's going to be up to Hive to make that extra rotation, either get the decap or get the touch at E and try to get away with that point lead to force them into their own fight.
This is where we always talk about it. Blaze says it, Reflection say it, yeah, I believe you say it, Ryan might say it, Ribs might say it. Usually in this situation, whoever throws that first utility, that first flash, that first shock, that first instant, usually is at a disadvantage. But here's the thing, because if you look at the scoreline at the top right, the tick, one team kind of has that extra point gain. That is going to be Carnage Gaming. I don't have my glasses on. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Colin, but that means Hive is going to have to find some way to make the first charges. They're going to go ahead and go in first without using their utility. That is going to be big, especially since nobody's getting down from this shock. Now there's an option, a potential for Hive to answer back with utility of their own.
And I think they had to, is that Hive's Incendiary?
It might have been.
There's the Incendiary. It had to be Hive's Incendiary. There's the Incendiary out from the side of Carnage Gaming. They're going to get one. They're going to get two. They got the down up there as well. That's a clean retake. And now Shockwqve is going to push across the map. He's going to have a chance to try to flank the D-Hill. Demise is down here. I'm not sure if they know where Demise is, if they're going to be able to push up or not. They've actually got him called out down there. He's going to get lanced out from Dsylexic from behind. And now here comes the Shock off of respawn. Shock is going to go for the up A. The back A from Shockwqve, though, hits him with a whole apartment complex and takes him down. A couple of kills will come through. They're going to have to go for a retake here, and they're going to have to do it pretty quickly. I believe they're going to have a 2v1 if they fly at the E-Hill, but they're actually rotating back for the utility. I don't know if I agree with that, PR. I think you got to take your numbers up there first and establish dominance.
And that kind of shows that Hive second-guessing a lot of their moves, possibly due to the addition of Shock. He's probably trying to teach them little things, little intricacies that they can use towards their gameplay, but unfortunately might not have had enough time during the offseason to make it work, to get that chemistry intact. So now with a Shock Grenade, that's going to buy Carnage more time, and more time means more points on the board. A Shock, and that's going to be a deep Shock separating players, but Absenz with a huge instant doing the best he can, but the hill is going to be decapped nonetheless. And it captured as well. As you see the win condition towards the top though, Colin, that one is not going to change, so Hive can't get content here. They're going to need a triple neutralization if they're looking to come out on top in this round.
They're going to have to get over to the F-Hill, but they're going to need a pretty perfect retake here. They're going to have to get a couple of kills in a row, and they're going to have to fly through the Lancer fire of all of Carnage Gaming. You can see Demise trying to push up, trying to use that movement to the best of his ability. Down on the train track side, they're getting pretty much stood up where they stand. There's the Incendiary Grenade. It hits the top of the roof. It doesn't get the down or the kill. Absenz pulls back. They get the one kill. They're very close to the F-Hill, down at the bottom of the map. They got a 2v1. Absenz goes down. Fate has to roll back into the hill. The up A trade comes through, though. There is somebody there, but they trade out hills. It's not in time. 3-3. We have a tie ball game going in to round number 7.
That trade was so crucial. I bet you during that moment, both of these players probably looked at each other wondering what had happened. Unfortunately for a Hive, they got the bad end of that trade as they get taken out, unable to get the decap because it even just gets down there, Colin. Not even staying alive. If he just gets down, he's in time for the decap, and the tables are turned. Hive is on match point, but now we're here tied up 3-3, and all the utility on the map, it's dropped down to 60 seconds. So every single minute, both teams will have access to a new pair of Absenz and a new pair of Shock. So that makes it to where if you can plan ahead, realizing the timer, like maybe go backwards 5 seconds up until Shock's up, and if you have the chance to do it, you can buy yourself that extra 5 seconds of having that utility first. It's all about how you rotate around the map and work to use these Absenz and Shocks as fast as possible.
You see Tidy pushed up on that first pillar. You're gonna have to probably make the move here. It looks like both teams have decided to elect. I mean, this is splitting hairs for me, PR. I hate when it comes down to this. I hate trying to figure out who has that initial tick, but I'm gonna have to try to figure it out. It looks like Hive is gonna try to take they're gonna have to take the opportunity, try to take the chance.
They go in, they use that first shot grenade, and usually in this situation, whoever uses that first shot grenade is not in the best position. But looking over, there's 4 bits of utility on the side of Carnage. They get that deep shock that's kind of leaving Tidy all by himself, stuck in that corner. He has no choice but to go forward. That instant would have cost him his life. Shock gets it down. Tidy takes out Shockwqve. He gets the help needed. That's going to be another down on Fate, cleaned up by Demise. The numbers goes over to Time, but a team kill coming in from Shock that could put this one on its side. He tries to advance, he tries to be aggressive, but he has to rethink it. So a hill that was kind of dominated by them goes over towards Carnage, and this close of a game, this early on, it's exactly what Carnage needed.
Shock is going to try to push back up. He's got Shockwqve coming up on the opposite side now. It's a 2v2. Dyslexic coming into the area. It's going to be a 3v2 until multiple members of Hive can get in the area. Somebody, I believe that's Xovios there, got killed in that middle cave area. Shock out. It's going to push people back. Here comes BGod. He's going to go down. They should be able to finally clean BGod up. He's been living for a minute and a half up here at the E hill. Shock not able to push in yet for the decap. Dyslexic and Shockwqve there. Probably the two best players for Carnage Gaming in the area. Shock will do a long-range incendiary and will find his marker. There is the decap. We're going to go for the touch here. SoLuRs and Shock trying to get a double cap off onto the E hill to try to get back into this one. The win condition now in their favor, PR, and they're going to have to hold on to this for a while. Another incendiary out from SoLuRs. Sneaky Beaver incendiary, if you ask me, baits him into the kill. That will buy them just a few more moments before they come back into the fight.
And already Demise gets that newly spawned Incin grenade, and he gets on the other side of the hill. I need him and Tidy to basically switch positions. A Shock for an Incin. Oh, thank God. They're probably hearing me. They're listening to me. There comes the rotation coming through. Xovios gets another Incin as well, but it's lighting up all for the COD team. Carnage Gaming getting a couple eliminations, getting a couple crucial downs, but they're not able to advance. Shock grenades, Incins litter the floor. No position is being gained off these eliminations.
Now you're going to see Feint move in. There's the incendiary grenade over the cover. They're going to get that kill. Shockwqve is going to move in. They're going to get the decap there at the E-hill. F-hill still well within the favor of Hive. They've got to hold on for about 10 more seconds. Dyslexic is going to try to make a move here. He's bouncing around. He goes down. He's in the hill, but he gets cleaned up. That, ladies and gentlemen, will do it for here. In fact, it will be a 4-3 Hive round count. And if I'm Hive PR, I'm hitting him with a quick disable somewhere.
Definitely got to hit him with that quick disable, probably on that shock grenade that is up top, because if you disable that shock grenade and you strike as fast as possible, whether you're going for that early hill cap or not, they're going to have to throw an instant from downtown. They're going to have to be accurate. They're going to have to be perfect to stop that play, because all they're going to have are those instants if you block off that shock. So this could be an opportunity for Hive to close it out. It is exactly what they're going to do, and I think Carnage has to answer back. You can't give them that shock grenade where you don't have it and that round lead. So now it's going to be an all-even gameplay without those shot grenades. So instants are going to be huge. So even though you don't have to throw that instant grenade from downtown, you still have to be as accurate as ever.
See here off the spawn, Xovios moves in, shot over the cover. Beautiful job by him. That great reaction, that little flick back over the cover. I know that's a shot from way back in your day, PR, but you gotta love the way it looks even still on Gears 5. And look at the Lancer fire out from Hive, getting the downs and trying to get the kills. They're gonna have to worry about that Batcave shot though. Dyslexic shooting all the way up from the bottom side of the map is applying a lot of pressure and damage, but the incendiary from Shock will find one.
That one could be all that's needed, but he gets funneled. taken out. Absenz catching him off guard. The rest of the members of Hive are doing the best that they can to try and get the trade. They are going to get the trade, but Absenz holding on. He's going to get the capture. So 2 hills going over. Tidy almost wasted no time. I thought he was going to get in towards the door, but a little bit of a bait and switch. That's pure Lancer fire coming through from Carnage. It's like a brick wall, stopping players in their tracks. They go for it again, and this time they absolutely needed to send 2 to spread out that Lancer fire coming through. But in the end, Xovios still goes down. The hill's still intact over for Carnage as Demise gets those instants. He needs to rotate them over quick, but he's actually being contested by Dsylexic.
That's a good job. You're going to see BGod pull back now. He knows he's only gotten damaged just a little bit. SoLuRs, he's still on that first cover. I believe Absenz will have the incendiary grenade. I think they have to move him to the left and try to get a... He's going to go for SoLuRs here. Long range onto SoLuRs, gets the kill. The incendiary answer from Demise doesn't find one. That's another kill in favor of Carnage Gaming. They will continue to hold on to the E-Hill and continue to amount the ability to win this round merely by sitting back and relaxing. And now finally Dsylexic will get challenged a little bit by Xovios. I believe you're going to have to take that fight, big man. You're going to have to take that 1v1 if you want to come away with this round and try to get the pressure on the bottom side of the map.
Wow, I was going to say this is a standard fight, no utility. This one's going to come down to the stock weapons. Hive gets taken out towards the top side. Tidy's doing what he can. Shock making some ruckus towards the flank, but they're separated. These are individual fights. Tidy getting one. He's continuing where he left off. He lands a good shot, but he has a ton of damage. But look at this. This is like Happy Feet. He's putting Shockwqve on skates. The flank comes through, but look at the score. They're not going to be able to get this capture. They need to push through. They need to get this neutralization, but Absenz is waiting for the perfect moment. Unable to connect with that instant. The win condition is intact. Hive gets in. They get the touch. Do they get the decap? They get the decap to come through, but they need the eliminations, and they are not going to get them. Carnage is going to hold on to this round and force a round number 9.
That was a beautiful job by Carnage. Every time they had to get a kill there, they had to trade out one of their own, or they had to just get a kill early to force Hive into a bad position. It came through every time. I said, all right, look, this is what you got to do. They went ahead. They got the incendiary pick on SoLuRs late. They got the incendiary pick on Shock early. It was picture-perfect gameplay by Carnage Gaming every single time you turned your head. They were making the right play. Tidy did everything he could to try to come back in that one. He got a little help from a team kill there late in the game, but it was without a doubt on the back of a guy like Dsylexic and Shockwqve that they won that round to force a round 9 to try to take a 2-0 victory over Hive.
And I like the play coming through from utility. This game has been right down the center. Neither team wanted to make the mistake of putting that drop shot and being down a full-on utility weapon, so they want to keep it as standard as possible. And you've seen Carnage. They already switched over to some of those smoke grenades so they can cloud up the vision from Hive. Now it's matched with Instant, a flank coming through from Xovios. He does it all by his lonesome. Because of that shock, he was never going to get reinforcements. You got to wonder what is going down in the mics of Hive.
Probably got the call out for the over-aggression. Down at the bottom of the map, Demise is just holding off the bottom side. There's the incendiary grenade into the E-Hill. Not going to find anybody for now. The long-range incendiary. There's a down on Dsylexic. He gets taken out. Nobody with control over E just yet. Shock has moved in. Shockwqve with a shot over the cover. Quick revive comes through. Shockwqve will have to back out. He has snub in hand. There's another down onto SoLuRs. They're going to go for that revive quickly. Flash out. Shockwqve goes down. BGod moves up into the area. Shots over the cover. They're not going to be able to find anybody just yet. This is a madhouse. This is a literal asylum here. Absenz still shooting over the cover, trying to find one. Wrap shot finally comes through. Xovios 3v1. Won't be able to find anything. Shock only gets one. And Carnage Gaming comes away with the E-Hill yet again.
And that's going to be a big win coming through. And if I'm number 8, Demise, I want to take note of Dsylexic all by himself, but he probably sees himself getting spotted out. This is your opportunity, but big shots being landed by Dsylexic. But the teamwork, the numbers game coming through from Hive, they're going to get that elimination. They're going to force rotations coming out from Carnage, making them pick which hill they want to defend. Shock grenade coming out. They're putting a lot of damage out. SoLuRs get taken out from BGod. The respawn coming through from Dsylexic. Hive might have bit off more than they could chew. They're getting lancered out. Dsylexic finds himself behind enemy lines. Xovios needs to go big, and he gets shut down. Dsylexic possibly putting the final nail in the coffin because not even a decap come through. 3 players alive for Hive, and they have to make some sort of a play. They have to spread the numbers out from Carnage.
Here is the biggest part of that play, and this is why I actually think they made that play PR. Feint is on his last life. They forced the fight onto Feint. They knew he had one respawn. They wanted to try to kill him, get him down to 0. SoLuRs will be on 0 as well. But Feint, if he gets taken out now before SoLuRs, that will give them an effective 5v4 across the map. It'll turn the first half on its head and give them the reverse situation. Now it's going to be one of those few possible moments where everything has to come together for the side of Hive. I believe they're going to leave Shock in that back rotational area. They went for the recap on the E-Hill, but they've got to get the D sooner or later. They've got to get there and get the decap. It looks like they're going to get that Shock to dissipate. There's the recap, but I don't believe anybody's going to make it there in time. Excuse me, Carnage will still win in about 35 seconds.
If you're down, you're still not out, and Demise shows a perfect example of that. He gets the decap, he gets the capture while down from that shock grenade. That is going to be huge, because now 2 hills in favor of Hive. They just need this one final neutralization, but the defense from Carnage Gaming has held strong majority of this game. You see the first push is going down towards the E-Tracks. Lancer Fire is strong. Multiple members getting taken out of the game. Tidy's gone, Xovios gone, Shock's going to fall. Demise will meet the same fate. SoLuRs all by his lonesome, and he will fall, and Carnage Gaming will take map number 1, 5-4.
Carnage Gaming has officially washed Hive out 2-0. Absenz giving him the thumbs up, just as I would give everybody in that match a thumbs up. We got to see a round 9 on Hive's map pick. That was intensity turned up to 100, and Carnage Gaming continues to impress, ladies and gentlemen. We saw reflections in the chat. One of our fellow casters coming in and saying, look, don't sleep on Carnage Gaming. They are going to continue to impress. They're going to continue to put their best foot forward, and they did just that.
That's exactly what you want to do if you're one of the new teams into the league. You want to really go in and make a statement throughout this qualification process. Carnage is one of those teams that failed to close out games, but ever since that LCQ, they've closed out game after game after game to where they're one map away from entering this Pro League undefeated.
And real quick, from the eye in the sky, ladies and gentlemen, PRI get news from Chopper Dave at the scene of the crime. Rebel has officially murdered Noble 2-0. They come away after what was a pretty dominating performance by Noble earlier in the day. Rebel just comes out and absolutely dark alleys Noble somewhere. I mean, there is a body we are looking for, so we're going to have to get the searchlights out there looking for Noble somewhere on the back streets of Gears Esports. But right now, we've got replays from map number 2, highlight reel action from Asylum, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you see it, bloodbath. Both of these teams, I kind of said it. I didn't think this was going to be a close game at all. Playstyles being very, very similar. Hive has a new addition. Meanwhile, Carnage has been putting on the show throughout the Pro League. And that man, Shockwqve, I can't say his name enough. If you need a big play to come out for your team, just give Shockwqve any weapon. Give him ammo. Just go ahead and let him lead the charge. Whatever you got to do, just ask Shockwqve what to do.
I mean, he has led the way for this team alongside a Dsylexic. They have proven time and time again just how invaluable they are to the success of this team. You can see multiple highlight plays being made as you see the kill feed light up, downs and outs and kills coming through from those two. They've done a fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't be more proud of those guys coming out of those qualifiers, making their way into Pro League, and now getting their first win under their belt against the squad of Hive here on the big stage under the bright lights. And we will take a quick look after these highlights finish up, because I mean, we went to round 9. There's got to be a heck of a lot of them. You can see the carnage that would ensue everywhere around the map. I mean, fight after fight, people were willing to take every opportunity and every fight possible.
And that's just really what it was. You see Dsylexic there getting those final kills on Xovios. And that was the thing. It looked like there was a lot of great effort coming from Hive, but it seemed in some very, very crucial moments, they went for some flanks, and the player was kind of caught out of positioning. It almost as if they went for the flank without telling the team. Obviously, I don't know. I don't have the communication in my ears, but I've seen it time and time again. Most recently, I think in that final round where Xovios goes for the flank, but his teammates shocked off the only passageway they could run through. So it's a little bit of a miscommunication, a breakdown in that play, but nonetheless, that was a very entertaining matchup. And you see majority of these rounds from both teams going for elimination. And that is really what we saw throughout all 9 rounds, just complete and utter destruction.
And they did a fantastic job of destroying the competition in that one. As you can see, 5-1 on Forge. They go over here to Asylum and get the 5-4 victory. We didn't even have to see Training Grounds, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm going to give my final thoughts real quick on that matchup. Carnage Gaming, I've said it time and time again, they're continuing to impress me. I cannot, without a doubt, give them any more props than I already have. I am so impressed. Color me impressed. I said, look, I didn't pick them to begin the night with, but I don't know who I'm not going to pick them against now. I mean, this is going to be one of those teams that they could come out, pull up on anybody at any time, PR.
I got a question for you, and this is probably one of those airhead moments for me. How fast was map number 1? Because there was a moment, I don't know if map 1 was so fast or map number 2 was so long. I forgot map 1 even happened. I thought we were going to map number 2 here for a second, but the Hive really let me down here today.
I only knew that map number 1 ended because this fat boy needed something to eat because I was running low on energy, so I had to get something to eat, dog. So I don't forget a meal, I tell you that, I can promise you that. So I knew Carnage was coming off a hot 1-0 victory in map number 1, going into map number 2 on Asylum, and that 9-round war of attrition finally comes out in their favor. But ladies and gentlemen, if I was you, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'd buckle up. I'd glue myself to the seat because you're going to be on the edge of it for most of this next game. Do not leave and go anywhere. Be right back with our match of the week, Pittsburgh Knights versus UYU.